able to make that Herald play on the top side of the map.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, he's holding the wave right in front of his turret as well. And it's just so obnoxious. When
what?
Four-man rotation down bot I was talking about. They should be able to take out this turret, as it is 4v3 at the moment. Fate stuck just farming under the mid turret, so...
Fate has, found himself in a position where he's only 100 gold behind, despite that early kill, which is very impressive. He's farming extremely well, he's laning well against the Ahri. Faker didn't get so far ahead that, he's just not able to play the game. Here's that blue buff I was talking about. They set up vision for.
Please don't believe this chat.
And this entire
okay, I mean, I haven't read anything on it yet.
T1s, right? Like, there isn't really much that Kwangdong Freaks can do here, and I think it's part of the reason why the score currently is only 1-0.
Anyway, Fate's build, like, I think KDF's already lost. Okay, KDF lost the game. I've just looked into the future. I've simulated the whole game. It's lost. I see this Victor item with Merc Treads, and like, he's just griefing the game. Like, this guy will never do damage, ever, ever. Merc Treads Crown against, like, Crown against Jace. This is popped instantly before a fight starts. Merc Treads against Jace, Lee Sin, Xayah, that's useful, yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on in these item builds.
This kind of a gold lead is exactly what T1 are famous for. They don't need to dominate you and get 5 kills in the early game to get ahead. However,
absolutely doomed.
The champions they have leads on in this game right now is not really where they would want it to be necessarily. The Xayah, who isn't getting power in team fights that aren't happening just yet. The Jace, who doesn't really have as big of a lead as he'd like to have here in a lot of matchups.
Let's go, man.
Which means that Kwangdong Freaks can actually
Yo, Swift, thanks for the 2 months.
Massive lead and come up big with the Victor
Copium.
scaling later on. It's not unrecoverable by any means.
Thoughts on Ionian versus Sox on Ahri?
That's where you're really
I think you should go Sox on Ahri if you go Ludens, like full burst, like Ludens Shadow Flame, but you should go Lucidity if you go Everfrost because it's more of a CDR build. Same thing goes for LeBlanc. I think you can play CDR boots Everfrost LeBlanc as well.
We just haven't seen a very assassin-based meta until Ahri appeared, right? It is going to be very great against Shock Blast damage as well coming through for Fate. And the name of the game is not really to have that extra Ludens damage or Leandries to burn through tanks with the composition T1 is running. He actually just wants to make sure he could survive long enough to win that longer fight, which is exactly what Kwangdong Freaks.
I do think KDF's draft is a little bit better, but I mean T1 is just outclassing them everywhere, and Fate is just.
But the Victor item choice here I do love quite a bit.
He's playing Ultimate Bravery.
To try to get out of there. There are a couple of ways for T1 to try to poke it down, but it's not going to be super easy, especially with that front line that Kwangdong Freaks do have to block Shock Blast and stuff like that. Okay, little engage here in the mid lane, but not really going to find
Caster's praising Victor's build. Yeah, it's not. You don't praise that build. Look, it's gone. He has no crown now. That's it. Now what? Now what? He has no damage. He has no shield. He has no armor.
Like, objective and just back away. Faker over the wall. He's very proactive there. A huge shock blast into Keen as well, and there's the root as over the wall goes Keria
griefing.
Maybe a little bit overzealous there. Yeah, I think that was definitely a little bit overzealous from Keria.
What is Keria doing?
Attempt here from Faker, but the charm target he gets isn't the one that you're going to be able to blow up very quickly with a follow-up engage like this. And a lot of damage onto Teddy. I see the idea. I can see why it's so tempting to actually follow up and try to force this fight and take a more massive lead, but it has the opposite effect. In fact, Kwangdong Freaks,
your volley, thanks for too.
Will shore up some of that gold deficit here with a traded kill back too. That very important late game jinx. Teddy going to be picking that one up. So Kwangdong Freaks very happy with this exchange as Fate does not have his crown back up yet, and somebody's lurking. He doesn't know. He's safe enough.
Yeah, owner was here, and I love the zoom-ins from Jonah Strong.
Are you allowed to watch the Korean stream? Yeah, we are. We're gonna watch the Korean stream next game.
Again, I mean, Faker's just looking for
Faker missed the charm. It hit Gragas, so Keen can just E out. And then Elim flashes out and has Q3, so Keria can't flash back out of the wall.
Don't go that deep. It was nice attempt. I think if the charm actually hits Elim, you feel really good about this exchange. You can probably blow him up, get the kill, and then get out, but hits the Gragas, so Keen is like, totally fine with this.
Yeah, and I want to draw attention as well to Karia's item builds. He's going Randuins here, and this has been kind of a new thing that we've been seeing in other regions as well. A lot of supports going first item Randuins. It's kind of been met with a lot of raised eyebrows. I'm not really sure about it myself, how much I like it. Obviously, it's more individually focused compared to something like a Lock of the Iron Solari. But it's going to make Caedrel actually a really tanky engage champion here on the Tahm Kench.
They might have the TP top soon.
A lot of trading back and forth here.
Or just run top ASAP.
For this. He's going to force out the Feather Storm.
The Tahm Kench in this draft, hold that thought, Keen.
Like
Owner is griefing as well, or Caedrel just saved him. What is going on, man?
The role of the Tahm Kench is so interesting in this draft, where Caedrel once again is just a god tier hero and will stop his teammates from feeding, but
but not himself.
Yeah.
Only his teammates.
This Ahri is slowly falling behind.
But you've committed so heavily now as T1 because you wanted to get a bigger advantage than just the mid turret with your second herald. So Fate actually trades a turret, gets free farm here on the side. But going back to the Tahm Kench pick, it's really interesting because at the beginning of the draft, it looked like, oh, okay, like a little bit more survivability for Zeus, you know, somewhat of an engaged champion. We didn't know the direction of the draft just yet. We didn't know if we were going to get the Ahri, but that was clearly going to be the idea. That was the general concept of the draft. We saw the Vex ban come through. And
T1 is bored.
He's kind of tied between two roles. He's both supportive, but
Aguma is super strong now.
On the initiation side to follow up.
Teddy needs RFC ASAP.
So Owner can go in and they can actually get those secured kills. Because as we've mentioned many times, in longer fights, you don't win those, especially if Teddy blows up the front line. So I like the Randuins in that regard because it makes it safer for him to save people who are going and looking for picks like Faker even. But also he survives a little bit longer so Jinx doesn't get excited. And then the fight gets won by Kwangdong Freaks in that war of attrition that you do lose in the longer parts. So it's quite
they're TPing top for tempo or what?
Do it again, he might have chosen a different support looking at the draft at the end of it.
Okay.
You know, now he has to flex it around.
I'm a bit confused.
Care about dragons. Like,
I feel like this tower was dead anyway.
They're like, okay, 5-man, we're going to go in, we're going to take this Ocean Drake, but as it stands, I mean, you're 3 Drakes away.
This tower is dead anyway.
So
now they have to dive top.
Teleports top, which, you know, is very interesting. It's a big commitment.
Where's your crown at, bro?
Just to continue getting more.
Now they have to dive top.
Ahead here in gold, and they will absolutely because it's 2v1 here. They're trying to get on top of Fate.
Nice
the crown
flash.
is down. Do they have the
fine.
damage though? Keen comes in with his
Faker
own
is
teleport.
really split.
As now they're going to engage on a Hoyt, who does have to flash away, and Faker is
He's
teleporting
gonna
away.
cancel.
Keen is just going to throw a big old barrel on top of him, and down
he will T1 are making some very weird plays right now. I don't know what T1 is doing this game.
They still have a massive lead. They still have removed so many structures. But remember, every kill you give over to these carries on the
T1 are
side of
playing a bit
will add up, especially
over Forsey. Does that make sense?
It's not a Drake lead for T1 in this game either. And with that pick
they're gonna get the top tier 2 at least, which is really big. They're still really fine.
Kwangdong Freaks are poised to now take a second one here. And it's Ocean Soul, which is going to be massive value into this Jace pick if Kwangdong Freaks can actually secure it. Owner, they will block him out. No Sonic Wave onto this dragon for you. Kwangdong Freaks, 2 Drake advantage right now, or 1 Drake, but 2
I mean, T1 are playing the map the way they should, kind of. They need to play over sides because their Jace is ahead, and it's working a little bit. This is what playing over sides looks like. But they look a bit dizzy. Like, this is an overforce like hell. They don't even have mid-push to tier 2, so it's not like anyone can help him.
The rest of his team is rotating over. All he has to do is stop this teleport for cast, so teleport is also wasted here for Faker. And Teddy
400 gold to Jinx.
Yeah, like everything about that
I mean, T1 can't really group up. Even though they have this gold lead, if they go 5-5 against KDF's comp, they're losing, I think. I think that's why they're splitting up the map a lot. And that's why I kind of think KDF's draft is a little bit better, because if they just hold the fuck on, they might just win. The T1 are making so many mistakes, like, I think this gold lead should be at least 6k right now. With 4 towers to 1. But yeah, they made a couple mistakes.
In this composition for Kwangdong it's mighty. It is scary. It is a Kraken Slayer Jinx with 2 kills, 2 items already.
And Shadow Flame on the...
Is Faker going Rabbit on second? Yeah, he is.
Correct choice here is now.
This Baron start feels terrible.
I was about to talk about how great their vision is. There's one hole here. They do spot out the Baron. T1.
What is T1 doing?
Point control, and they've got an Ahri.
They do have okay turn.
This doesn't work in any
Not
universe.
the best, and this is incredibly early
What?
as a huge solar flare does come in onto 2. Keen is going to be kited back. In goes Faker, and he
nice
takes him
Faker.
out and gets out again.
How squishy is that Gragas? What the fuck?
Nice. And now it's 5v4.
Also,
Faker
Keen griefed
has
his
one more
combo.
charge. He's looking for another charm. This time will not land.
Keen being down here is pretty massive because it means that Kwangdong Freaks just will not be able to turn without him. Their composition is not powerful enough just yet to win a scrappy fight like this. Fate.
He's playing with fire here as the engage comes in.
Oh, Keria, nice knock.
And down will go Fate.
Yeah, Fate is griefing a bit there.
Kwangdong gets baited into the fight here. Huge feather storm just blows up the Xinjiao. And that is going to be a couple more kills in the T1's pocket.
Kind of griefing there.
Kwangdong Freaks had such an opportunity
Nice crown.
here.
Did a lot there.
After that pick goes down to just walk away.
Did a lot there.
We
Good
stopped
crown.
the Baron.
Big
Let's
fan.
just get out of here. You know, the follow-up engage from Faker was fantastic, but also part of this is on Fate because he's
I mean, yeah, Keria saves Faker here.
a bit of a disconnect actually.
An owner flashes out. Now Keen has nothing. Nice route by Guma. And then he has no MR.
Splitting them in the choke, but actually is kind of an awkward, disjointed engage there with the solar flare. Fate dodges the charm, but his positioning here is so greedy after they've warded T1 off that with Faker's additional charge, he comes in, they try to grab a charm, still pick him off there with a follow-up from Keria. And there's just so much pick potential on T1's comp that take your wins where you have them. Remember, this is a scary
Ari's pretty strong now.
gold on the map for Kwangdong to pick up later if they can win a team fight. But this is not the fight to take. This is not the stand to make. When they walked out of that choke point, Kwangdong should have hightailed it out of there.
Yep. Definitely agree, especially right after Keen went down.
I think Teddy has to carry this game.
And with the Victor in front of a Leona, that's not the way you want to go for it. And T1, they are.
Wow, T1 just forced Nash again.
They say, no, we're going to take it.
They keep forcing Nash.
We don't care about what you have. And, I mean, everything's available here for the Kwangdong Freaks, but the turn, once again, being set up here by T1. The damage is going in. There's the rocket onto Owner. This is going to be close, but Elim's
Oh
not
my
able to
god,
get in.
Elim
Gets
almost got in
charged
range
as
to steal it.
the Engage goes down, but the Devour is there once again to save Faker, and this is going to be a massacre. Faker able to take down Keen.
It might just be a Faker gap. It's a Faker gap. It's a Faker diff. It's a Faker diff. It really is just a Faker diff. Wow. Honestly, they just start Nash, the enemy team runs at them, and they win. It sounds so standard, but it's crazy how T1 can just force Baron. It's very uncommon for teams to be able to do this, because it's so risky to just force Nash, tank the damage, and then turn.
Force lose-lose situations for Kwangdong.
Damn.
Bars are low though.
Okay.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
I mean, look. Whether they kill the next
This is the second time they do it. T1 are so good at playing around Nash. It's unreal.
For Kwangdong Freaks. 10,000 gold lead here for T1 and the mid cryo that's guaranteed for them for subsequent Drakes.
Okay.
And
well,
no flash for your Leona.
You got to try for something, as this is Ari who's about to have ult. So the teleport's used, the flash is used.
Nice try. They have to fight this Drake, otherwise they lose the game. I mean, they've lost the game already.
Yeah, I think you definitely try for it.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ari's OP. Maybe it's just Faker's Ari is OP, because every other Ari I see is absolutely useless. And is getting outscaled, doing nothing, and missing everything. Is it just Faker Ari? Thoughts? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just Faker Ari. Every Western Ari I see, it's just the worst pick ever.
Absolutely melted here. Keria is so tanky with the randoms. He even has a stopwatch at this point. Teddy can do 0 against the Tomcats, and that is going to be yet another ace, it looks like here. Fate getting chased down. T1, they can just end the game.
They absolutely can.
There was one good Ari game in the LFL, yeah, Diplex. I'm talking more overall for Western mids. Ari didn't look great.
Doesn't matter. T1 gonna push to end. They forced so many lose-lose fights on Baron. The setup was great. The turn was fantastic. Faker hitting so many critical charms.